All right. Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning to those of you that's in a different time zone. This Tiffany coming through live in effect. So today I'm dealing with the Black History topic, which is Dr. Edwin C. Berry. I don't know why I said doctor, because he wasn't a doctor, he was an entrepreneur. So yes, he was an entrepreneur. He had a hotel called Hotel Berry. And so we're going to be looking into his information. But before I get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, subscribe, like the channel, do all that great stuff. Do all that. So make sure you share this video if you get a chance to. So yes, what I do on a consistent basis, I get into the topic about Black history most of the time because I feel that it's necessary. You know, everybody else want to talk about popular stuff, deal with pop culture and all that. Every now and then I can get into a little of that, but not too much of it. So I think it's very important for us, especially as Blacks here in America, to know about our history, our ancestry, and those who have made the contribution and what they have done as far as our community is concerned. So it's so many information out there, but it only takes an individual who have the ambition to learn and the passion, the drive, the motivation to discover more about their history, you know. So it's plethora of information out there. It's so many resources. And it just only takes one individual to do their research. So anyhow, I don't get a lot of views on this channel, and I'm okay with that. I'm not tripping off of that. You know, just as long as I know that there's a few individuals out there that's watching, I appreciate that. You know, but other than that, I don't get that many views for what I do. I don't even get paid for what I do. So, you know that this come from the heart. This come from just being passionate. That's all. So I don't expect for nobody to really rock with my channel like that. I really appreciate it a lot. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Life goes on. Just got to keep it pushing. All right. So anyways, I have a lot of information, a lot of sources that I would like to share. So one of the sources that I'm going to share regarding to Edwin C. Berry comes from the Wikipedia source or Wiki1 source. This is everybody's go-to website. So this is the everybody go-to website right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read a few information. Then I'm gonna show some other sources. Then I'm logging off. So Edwin C. Berry was born on December 10th, 1854, and he died 1931. He was an American hotelier who was among the most successful African-American hoteliers in the country during his era. All right. So it said he was born in Oberlin, Ohio in 1854 and was taken by his parents at the age of 2 years to Albany, Ohio, where unusual school facilities were offered African-American children. When he was old enough, he was sent to the Albany Public School, and when the Albany Enterprise Academy, a school for African-American children, was erected, he was able to attend it for a short time. Unfortunately, his father died in 1870, and young Berry was compelled at the age of 16 to leave school and help provide for the family, in which there were 8 children younger than himself. All right. So it go down here saying, search for his work. He walked 10 miles to Athens, Ohio. That is a long walk. And was very happy to secure work in a brickyard at 50 cents a day. In short time, his work improved until he was earning $1.25 a day, the greater part of which he was able to divide with his family. He was never too proud to do any kind of honest labor, and although his work was hard and not inviting, it was the best he can do, and he decided to do it well. During the summers, he remained at the brickyard, and in the winters was usually able to find employment in stores or elsewhere as a delivery boy or clerk. It was during these difficult years that he learned to practice economy. He did not use tobacco or intoxicants because he could not afford them then. He said he was not able to afford them afterward either. He also learned to seize opportunities which other boys allowed to slip by them. Whenever a circus came to town, the other boys eagerly spent some of their hard-earned money to see the show, but young Berry turned the circus to profit. He would rig up a refreshment booth and thus make more money than he would have. Than he would had if he stayed at the brickyard. Whenever there were excursions, that form of extravagance in which so many of our people sink their savings, Berry would always get the privilege of selling refreshment on the train, thus enjoying the excursion and making a profit at the same time. All right, so speaking of economy, he said once that on many occasions he has walked 10 miles to his home so that he might have an additional 25 cents for the dear ones there. While he was working at the brickyard, it was his custom to work every day and half the night, thus making the week 9 days long. On rainy days, when the brickyard was idle, he would find some chores to do or go to the country after cream for the ice cream makers. The first winter after the death of his father, he worked at hauling bricks until his hands were cut to quit by handling the rough surfaces. He was more than rewarded, however, by earning enough to take home 4 barrels of flour, which were all paid for at $7.80 per barrel. So he started off with a business mindset at a very young age, at the age of 16 years old. And reason why, because after his father passed, he had to figure out a way how to provide for the family, how to make sure family gets some type of substantial income. That's what he had to do. So, but today, a lot of young boys, many of them rather sit around, play video games, and or maybe go hang out with their friends or whatnot. Many of them not thinking about entrepreneurship, business, or even working at that. You see? So the generation of these kids today, they're so used to handouts. They're so used to parents doing it all for them and not learning how to do for themselves, which is why I am a big supporter of home economics. Because at the end of the day, when your parents not around, you got to be able to do for yourself. You got to be able to take care of yourself. You have to be a go-getter. It's not easy, but you got to do the job, right? So let's continue. Okay. So it says his first indoor work was in Parkersburg, West Virginia, where he was employed as errand boy in a dry goods store at $10 per month. Of this amount, he regularly sent his mother $8 every month. It was in Parkersburg that he first secured work along the line in which he was afterwards to make so great a success. He got work in an ice cream parlor where he served as a waiter. So he was trying to find work wherever he can. All right. So down here, let's skip down a little bit. It says the idea of setting up in business for himself would not leave his mind, but as he had no capital and no credit, the way seemed dark before him. His wife came to his aid. By her intercession, her parents were persuaded to allow Berry to put the $3 which he had been paying them weekly for his wife board into what they called the business capital. In a few months, he was able to start his elder brother in the restaurant business with a capital of $40. They commenced as Berry brothers, but as the business was not large enough for two, Berry bought his brother out and went along. When Berry's employer learned that his best employee was about to set up as his rival, he was angry and warned Berry that if he failed and returned looking for employment, he would not get it, or even a meal if he were hungry. Berry had the pleasure sometime later of materially assisting this man when he himself got into trouble. The business prospered from the first, and by 1880, Berry was able to buy a lot for $1,300. As soon as the lot was paid for, Berry secured a loan of $2,000 and put up his first building, which is today a part of the Hotel Berry. He did a prosperous trade as a caterer and confectioner, and soon had to hire a young man as an assistant. All right, so now let's get down to the business part of it. Hotel Berry. Berry's success continued until 1893 when he decided to enter the hotel business. At first, the outlook was gloomy. In the first place, the merchants of Athens met and decided to boycott any traveling salesman who stopped at the Hotel Berry. In July of 1893 occurred the Great Panic, and on many a night, Berry closed up with only one guest on the register. He had incurred a mortgage of $8,000 at 7% interest and was compelled to apply at the banks to borrow money to meet his notes. On one occasion, both banks in the city refused to let him have money. He was almost in despair. As Berry was going out of the second bank, a friend of his who was standing by, seeing the look of distress on his face, asked him what the trouble was. Berry told him. The friend drew $500, the sum needed, from his private deposit and handed it to Berry, telling him to take it and use it without interest until he could repay it. This is the only time in his career, Berry said, that any person offered him any encouragement beyond empty words. The panic subsided, and the merchants were unable to drive the salesman from Berry's hotel. One example will show the methods used by Berry to make his hotel popular. At night, after his guests had fallen asleep, it was his custom to go around and gather up their clothes and take them to his wife, who would add buttons which were lacking, repair rents, and press the garments, after which Berry would replace them in the guest room. Guests who had received such treatment returned again and brought their friends with them. The Hotel Berry became the leading hotel in Athens. As of 1907, the hotel had 50 rooms with baths and all modern conveniences and an elevator. The hotel was so popular that men came from considerable distance just to spend Sunday there, and was a landmark on the trail of commercial travelers. Berry never refused to serve African American men at his hotel. Indeed, he said he would rather lose his customers than to be guilty of that sort of disloyalty. All right. So right down here, you will find the reference in this WikiWine article. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, then. So real fast. We have this preconceived notion that I guess African Americans didn't really have businesses at the time. And there were so many successful ones. but they went unnoticed in the history books. Right after the Reconstruction era, a lot of Black people figured that, hey, it would be best to start our own business and build our own communities. Have their own neighborhoods, their own cities. A lot of them did that because a lot want something for themselves and for their own people. But today, what really kills me or what gets me the most is people talk about we need to build up economics. We need to have our own businesses. We need to, anything that's contributing to money, we need to do it. But when it comes to the subject about economics, nobody really paid attention, or very few focus on it. It's funny, we can talk about economics, but many don't want to hear about economics. What is it? Because there's too much information to be learned all at once? Can it be overwhelming? Yes. It's nothing fun about economics, really. It's nothing fun about learning, but if you trying to learn how to operate business and you trying to learn about credits and mortgages and all that great stuff, well, you got to learn some economics, right? You got to take the initiative. And I don't think that many want to do that. Many want the get rich quick type of scheme thing. And it doesn't always come down to that result. You don't get rich overnight. That's what many are looking for. How do I make money fast and quick? It doesn't work like that. You have to put some work into it. You have to put some manpower to it. You got to put some skin in the game. You got to put mental work out there. If you ain't using your mental power, it ain't going to work for you. But, I took notice of that. People don't really like talking about economics, but they want money, but they don't really want to deal with the principle of how to get money or how to have a production and consumership. Yeah, people don't want to deal with the principles. Yeah, but it seemed to amaze me, though. It seemed to amaze me. All right, so here is an article. Well, not an article, but here's a source. It's called Africana, the Encyclopedia of the African and African Americans. All right. So it is volume 3. So basically it goes into African Americans' history in the diaspora and the history in the continent, etc. All right, so here it talks more about Edwin C Berry. Let's see what other information can be found. All right. So right here, I'm going to go on read. It says 1892, Berry erected a 20-room hotel. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me go up a little bit. It talks about right here how he's a participant in the Republican Party activities in Southeastern Ohio. Berry actively sought a clerkship in state government during the summer of 1889. However, his support of incumbent Governor Joseph Foraker's wing of the Ohio Republican Party left him without a job prospect after the party's defeated in gubernatorial election. The only offices he held were several terms on the Wilberforce University Board of the Trustees during the early decades of the 20th century. Now, Wilberforce University is a HBCU. that's located in Ohio. I think it's located in Athens, Ohio. In 1892, Berry erected a 20-room hotel on property adjoining his restaurant, placing him in debt for $9,000. A former friend furnished the money and took a mortgage on the building. The Hotel Berry quickly prospered and several additions were made to the structure. At the time of Berry's retirement in 1921, the hotel had expanded to 55 rooms. Its owner gained the reputation of being the most successful Black small city hotel operator in the United States. The reputation of the Hotel Berry came to be based on the fine meals served there and the extra attention lavished on the customers. Berry is reputed to be the first hotel keeper in the United States to put needle, thread, buttons, and cologne in the rooms. Each room also came equipped with a clothes closet. G.F. Richings observed that Berry's patrons were all white and that he was the only Black person in the nation who operated a first-class hotel patronized by white people. All right. Then it goes on to say that Berry kept active in the philanthropic work within the Black community in Ohio. A member of the Baptist denomination, he was largely responsible for the construction and financing of the Mount Zion Baptist Church in Athens. He participated in the work of the Baptists on state and local levels, serving as superintendent of the church Sunday school, church clerk of where did I get that from? Oh my goodness. Okay, church clerk officer and delegate and speaker at the Ohio Baptist Convention for nearly half a century. He was a zealous supporter of temperance in the Black community. Now, it goes on to say, on March the 12th, 1931, Berry died in Athens, leaving an estate of $55,000. In an editorial written several weeks after Berry's death, Cleveland Gazette editor Harry C. Smith utilized him as the leading and best Afro-American businessman in the last quarter of a century. All right. And then it goes on and say, a fairly completed account of Berry's life is contained in an essay written on the Black community in Athens County by the Federal Writers Project. It is maintained in the state archives at the Ohio Historical Society. His political activities can be traced in the Charles L. Cruz and George A. Myers papers at the Ohio Historical Society. The published Minutes of the Ohio Baptist Convention documents his role in the religious life of Ohio. Berry's business activities received mention in G.F. Richings' Evidence of Progress Among Colored People in 1901 and in the Cleveland Gazette March 21st and the 28th, 1931. Berry's participation in the activities of the community is mentioned in the pages of the Athens Messenger. From Dictionary of American Negro, biography by Rayford W. Logan and Michael R. Winston, editors, copyright 1982. All right, so there's the information that can be found. All right, so this is one source right here. Again, this comes from the Africana, the Encyclopedia of the Africans and African Americans. Now, here's another one, which is the Encyclopedia of African American Business, updated and revised edition, second edition. Okay, so it didn't come out that long ago. It was about 2017 that this edition came out. So, here it is. It goes into more information, more details about this brother. So you can find the same thing. So there's no excuse why people can't do their own research and look up information, because it's right there. Let's see what it says about his wife real fast. It says he married his schoolmate, Maddie Marjorie of, Pomeroy, Ohio, on October the 18th, 1878. Her parents also had been slaves. The couple set up house in one room. His interest in establishing a business for himself never won, but he had neither the capital nor credit to do so. All right. And so, of course, going back to where it stayed, meanwhile, Berry had been paying his in-laws $3 a week for his wife board. Maddie Marjorie persuaded her parents to allow Berry to divert the money into business capital. In 1888, Berry left his employment in the local restaurant and with his elder brother and $40 in capital started a business known as Berry Brothers. So, as you can see, it goes on and says he bought out his brother and continued the business on his own. His restaurant was successful from the start, and by 1880, he purchased a lot for $1,300. As soon as he paid for the lots, he borrowed $1,000 from a farmer friend and put up his first building, which became part of Berry Hotel. Berry continued to prosper for 14 years. This required him to seek various locations to support the thriving enterprise. All right, so and then you can look down here, you find the reference, Dictionary of American Negro Biography, The History of Black Business in America, Capitalism, Race, and Entrepreneurship. All right, then you got Booker T. Washington, The Negro in Business. Then it's Moreau in Work, Negro Yearbook, and Annual Encyclopedia of the Negro. So all the references down here. All right, and then I have another one right here. Of course, this is the Encyclopedia of African American Business, Volume 1. And of course, it goes into, you can find his information again, because I'm not going to read it, but let's see right here. It says, according to Booker T. Washington, in the Negro in business, he had a deep sense of loyalty to his race and would rather lose customers than be disloyal to Black people. Berry Hotel, which grossed $35,000 annually, was known for its fine meal and the precision care that was given to the guests. The hotel is credited with having in each room needle, thread, buttons, and cologne. Washington reported that Berry's wife attended to the visitors as well while they slept. She pressed their garments, added buttons, and made repairs. Guests were so impressed with the hotel service that they returned time and time again, brought friends with them. The hotel was also a popular spot on Sundays for men who traveled considerable distance to spend the day there. By the time Berry retired sometime before 1910, some sources say that he had 55 rooms and operate one of the finest hotels in the country. All right. So, obviously, Edwin Berry was very devoted to his people. And he didn't want to, and he would rather lose customers than to be disloyal to his own. That's how devoted he was. So again, you can see the sources right here. All right. So this comes from the archive.org. You can just type in Encyclopedia of African American Business. All right. So you can find a lot of information here for free. You can borrow for a week, for 2 weeks. So yeah, so anytime if you want to look up something about any information, just go on archive.org. If you can't find it on Amazon or what other website that you're trying to look for, go on this one and you can get all the information that you want. All right. All right, then. So with that being said, that's all I have for today. And I hope everybody have a wonderful day. And for those who have not got a chance to see this video, it'll be posted up. Of course, there's no need for me to edit the video, but it'll be posted up. So just get a chance to watch the video and share it, subscribe to the channel, whatever you want to do. Other than that, I gotta go about my day. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you all be safe and take precautionary action. And that's that. All right, then. Peace.